Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby, and welcome back to another episode here at the Brown Book Series. Y'all know what we do. It's 6 o'clock, it's Wednesday night, and we have an awesome author here with us tonight. It threw me off a little bit because everybody keeps saying, Shay, everybody you interview is awesome. I'm like, yeah, they is. You know, if you want to know the truth about it, they are. So go get your drink. Come on back. Let everybody know the Brown Book Series is on, and we're here with the New York Times, Wall Street Journals, and USA Today's best-selling author, Miss Laurelin Paige. See you soon.
Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience, October 28th and 29th, 2022. At the Westin Old Town, Alexandria, featuring some of your favorite romance authors: Brenda Jackson, Beverly Jenkins, Iris Boland, Deborah Fletcher Mello, and so much more. The Raw Experience will include book signings, meet and greet, photo ops, vendors, shopping, surprise celebrity guests, and live performances. Registration is wide open at brownbookseries.com. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Experience.
And we are back. Brown Book Series, please welcome to the show, New York. And I put USA Today in there, but she gonna get New York USA Today anyway. So let's just go ahead and give it to her. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today's best-selling author, Miss Laurelin Paige. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you, darling? Welcome to the Brown Book Series.
I am really glad to be here. I'm excited. And I'm also really hot. My air conditioner broke today. So if you see me sweating, it's not just because of the things we're talking about.
We totally understand. Look, the old folks say we're going through the changes, but we're gonna blame it on the
Yes.
air conditioner. Blame it on air conditioner. We understand. Yeah. Laurelin, girl, it's super excited to meet you. Like, you are totally awesome, and your books rock out. Do anybody ever tell you that?
Well, sometimes.
Shoot, like, you right about it. Now, okay, tell us a little bit about Laurelin Paige. What is it like in a day in the life of Laurelin?
Wow, my life is so fascinating lately. A day, it depends on if I'm doing a writing kind of day, if I'm doing an administrative type of day. My writing day, both kinds of days starts with working out, because I've realized in the last few years that my mind works out a lot better when my body works. So work out in the morning, and then I come to my office, and I pretty much live right here where you see me right now. I probably write from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till about 7 p.m. is my writing time when I have a writing day. I only have 3 of those days a week. Because the rest of the time I'm doing a lot of administrative stuff, page press. My publishing company publishes other authors as well. So I get to do other things on other days, which is really good for my brain too, because my brain needs lots of time to percolate stories. So having time off in between really, really helps.
So you have your own publishing company?
Yes, I mean, it's an indie publishing company, but I publish several other authors. We publish Stella Gray and Raven Jane. We've published some C.D. Reese, and we'll be publishing some more of her in the future. And then Sadie Black and Leah Hunt. I think that's pretty much our roster of authors.
A nice roster, though. How did you get into? Okay, first of all, before we begin into you wanted to be an author, we're gonna have to talk about you being this publishing company. So, okay, hold on. Where you want to go first, Shay? First, I don't even want to go to any of that. Killing Eve.
I
What?
love Killing Eve.
What is that? A show? I'm like, what is Killing Eve?
It's a television show. Oh my God. If you haven't watched it, you are missing out. It's hot AF. Can I say swear words on this? I didn't ask you if I could.
It's evident you don't know. Yeah. We cuss, clown, all kinds of bullshit over here.
All right. So it's a hot as fuck show. It's got Jodie Comer and oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. The awesome Asian actress. She used to be on Grey's Anatomy. That's what I remember her from.
Not Sandra. Whoa. Is it Sandra?
Yeah. Sandra Oh. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So she's like a CIA agent, and she is, or not a CIA agent, because she works in Britain. So she's what is the Britain people again?
Kind of
yes, MI6. That's what it is. And she is going after this international killer. This Jodie Comer is a killer who is so sexy when she's doing it. She's hilarious. She's funny. It's sexy. It's a black comedy. But there's also this like sexual tension between the two women that is just intense. And there's all this vibes of like feminism. And it's like if James Bond was geared towards women instead of towards men. It has all the sexy undertones, but the people in charge are women, and they're the brains, and they're the ones with all the charm. It's fantastic. Psychologically, kind of so lots of psychological manipulation, which I love to write about. I love to see in person. I love to see it in shows. I definitely recommend it. It's on AMC, but you can get the old ones, I think, on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see that because I was like, really, what is Killing Eve? Like, I like all that, so I was like, I'm gonna have to check that out. But I wanted to, because my friends, a lot of them, they've heard about it, but no one ever watched it. And I was like, Laurelin watches it. Let me ask her before I.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. This is the last season, and I think it's season 4. So you're just at the right time to binge. Because these women are too amazing, and they have lots of other things to do.
And that's the thing why when I start a new series, I'm like, I'd rather just get them and binge them because then I'd be like, yo, why would I have a season, a second season after this? So, okay, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check that thing out. All right, before I ask you another question that I want to know about. Now, this next person that I will ask you about, I knew about him. And before, let me just find him real quick, honey, because I was like, oh, baby, she my kind of girl, honey, because he is my kind of man.
Yes, and that's one of the best pictures of him, too. That's one of my favorites. I appreciate that.
You say you appreciate it?
Yeah, I really do.
Laurelin,
he is hot.
Mr. Michael, tell us why you love this man so much. And now I love him. This picture right here, I was like, oh yeah.
He, just look at him. He's got like this alpha power in that picture where you can just tell that he walks in the room and dominates what's going to happen. Yes. But I find that I'm somebody who, and this is like sucks in the world that I am involved in, but I find that I'm really more attracted first, not to looks, but first to like demeanor and mind stuff. So the first things that I ever saw him in were kind of intellectually sparking sort of shows. And so that just immediately was like, I'm into him. He was in Pride and Prejudice, which is, that takes some real serious chops. I majored in musical theater, so I appreciate acting chops. And then I watched him in the show called Shame, which is about sex addiction. Right. Yes. So right there, I was already like, I love the things that he's attracted to.
Yeah.
And then from then, when I started seeing pictures, like he did a GQ photo shoot then, where I think that's what that was part of.
That was for that one. Michael Fassbender, is that?
Michael Fassbender. He's just delicious. And then in X-Men.
Oh yeah.
I wanted him and Jennifer Lawrence to fuck so bad. I could have written fanfic about that.
Me too. When he put her ass in a cocoon, I was like, they're not gonna do it. Like
they do in my version. In my head, they do.
Well, you need to write about it so we all can. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I Laurelin up there, honey.
Oh yeah.
Look, she all up in them. And then I saw him. I said, yo, that's the I love the X-Men. That's just my thing. And I was like, hey, that's the X-Men dude. That's, and I'm like, yeah. And then when I saw him in different stuff, I'm like, you know how you can see a person like in one movie and you don't even realize it's the same person until you really kind of start connecting the dots. Now it's like, oh my God, he's been in a bunch of damn movies and shows that I absolutely love.
Yeah. He's good at what he does. He's good. He really embodies the characters. And he's hot.
And he's high. He looks good in it. Okay, y'all, look at that. All right, one more thing before we get all into your book world. What is Mensa International?
That's me being a stuck up bitch. I'll tell you. That's one day, you know how when you're with your best friends and you're like, nobody gets me. Everybody is like dumb and nobody gets me. And your best friend is like, but we're just smarter than all of them and it's all okay. Let's just do something to prove that we're smart people.
Best friend shit. Just follow along with your shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was me and my best friend one day when we were like kvetching about the world. And so we decided on a whim, we're like, we're going to try out for Mensa, which is you have to have an IQ of 145 or higher to be in Mensa. So what they do is they do 4 hours of rigorous testing, and then they decide whether you were smart enough to do it. And we're like, we're gonna do it and prove to everybody that we are no dummies. And then we did it, and we were accepted. So it was like I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it. It's also really a shitty thing to brag about. But here I am, you get it. Some days you take what you get, right? Like, I don't have a bikini body. I don't have the bikini body, but I have the Mensa.
I absolutely. So do you guys have like Mensa conventions and stuff? And if you do, what do you guys do?
They do have them. I don't do anything with them except for put it on my bio. I've seen some stuff they have around. They'll have like movie nights and they're really like snooty intellectual type films that they'll invite you to. Or they'll have, some trivia things, but it's a lot of really like cerebral, intellectual type of people. And there's also some really cool like filmmakers and stuff that are part of the organization. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't really participate.
She's like, I just took the test and added it to my resume. I'm good. It just looked good on paper.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have to check out old Mensa. I was looking at that. I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. I like stuff that has a lot of trivia. Just like a bunch of trivia, a bunch of everything. Me and my husband will go to like a sports bar on trivia night and totally kick ass.
I suck at the trivia. I can't remember details like that. But the Mensa test is more like the IQ tests are more like they're things that you don't have to have previous knowledge from. So except for vocabulary, but it has a lot of like, look at these shapes and like, how do these shapes, what would these patterns? I mean, it's a lot of pattern recognition, a lot of like sequence recognition of numbers. There's math. There's a bunch of math and how fast can you do math? But trivia, if there was trivia questions on it, I would have failed.
Oh God! Oh my God! Well, we're glad you didn't fail, and we're glad that that's on your resume. That's a big accomplishment. That's hot.
I like to when I'm feeling down, I just remind myself that I'm a Mensa
bitch. That's what you mean. Yeah.
Badass bitch. Yeah.
Badass bitch. Exactly. Check my paperwork.
Yeah.
I get it. I absolutely love it. Now, Laurelin, how did you know that writing was your thing? Like, I want to be an author. And what made you take the big? Well, first of all, you're an indie author, right? You got your own publishing company, or are you still to a publishing company?
I am indie. I have some. I've done like 3 books with the publishing, 4 books with the publishing company, and then some with 1000 Dark Nights. But mostly I'm indie. I first started writing, I always wrote music when I was younger. I wrote music and I went to Berklee College of Music and I thought I was going to be a musician. And then And then I was like, oh no, I want to be an actress. And so then I went to theater school, and then I got married and had kids, and I wasn't doing any of it. But I started having kids. And when I had kids, I was like, I'm going to write them books. I'm going to write them little tiny books, picture books. So I wrote them some picture books. And then they got a little older, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to write them chapter books. And I started working on chapter books. And then I was like, well, I'm writing all these books. I want to do something with it. So I tried to get an agent. And the world of writing literature for youth it's a very tough world. It's a hard world for authors. Lots of rejection. So I would turn in my books and get rejected, get so close where somebody'd be like, oh, do some revisions, and then turn it in. And then I'd turn it in, and then they'd be like, no, still don't like you. And so I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to write something for me. I'm just going to write like a quick romance story and publish it in one of those small little publishing companies that exist, like Sam Hain or Eden Books. And then I'll feel good and have like some more. I've kind of seemed to demonstrate that I have maybe lots of moments when I need to have some like reassurance. So I need some validation or reassurance. This will reassure me. And I will then be able to go back to the kids' books. Well, I wrote my romance book. I got an agent like almost overnight, and then everything. I was like, I'm staying here now. This is good. This is easy. I love it, and I'll stay here. So that's kind of how that happened.
That's what's up. So you was with the agent, and you did it with a smaller press. What made you decide to just be completely indie?
Well, it takes a long time when you get your books. Okay, they're going to publish your book, but it's not going to be for like another year and a half. And like in the meantime,
really,
we were broke. Yeah, publishers, they're getting faster now, but before it was like they'd sell your book, but it would be 2 years later that you'd get to publish. So I was like, in the meantime, I'm broke. And my husband had just lost his job at Blockbuster because, you know, if you haven't heard, Blockbuster went out of business. And we have special needs kids. So it wasn't like he could just get another job. We had to have one that worked around my schedule. And we were just desperate. We filed for bankruptcy. And I was like, you know what? My friend over here just made like a bunch of money indie publishing some books. So maybe while I'm waiting for my book to be published with Sam Hain, I'll publish something on my own. And I did, and then it was really successful. So why go anywhere else after that?
That makes perfectly good sense. You're right. Like, why go anywhere else? So what made you decide that you wanted to become a publishing company, that you want to publish other authors?
I find that I am, do you pay attention to like the Clifton strengths at all? There's a lot of authors that are like really into the Clifton strengths. Mm-hmm. Then don't worry about it. I find that I'm like a person who likes to start a lot of projects, but I also have to finish them to feel good about myself. So
that should be everybody. Shit.
Yeah. Well, there's some people like my daughter. She can start 1,000 projects and she feels happy. And my writing partner has like ideas on end. She can come up with like 1 million ideas. And never finish them herself, and she's fine with that. But I would always get anxious. I get anxious if they're not going to be finished. And I could come up with more ideas, and I had more ideas than I could actually tackle on my own. Right. So I wanted to find a way to sort of utilize those ideas, or something to do with those ideas, and a place to put them. And along with that, remember I have a theater background, an entertainment background, and I've always admired the way that writers work in a writer's room for a television show. Yeah. They don't have just one author writing the whole series. They're a collaborative sort of experience. And so I wanted to see if we could, a few of us who had ideas that were on my team already, like, could we write a story collaboratively, and could we get those stories published with, use it with authors that I know? So it really all became a collaborative process. There's like 6 of us who plot the stories. One of the people actually goes and writes the story after that. A couple of us others like go through and make the first round of edits, and then another person writes the last round of edits. It is literally written by several different people all together.
It's like an anthology, right?
No, it's the same. It's one story. Like one pen name is a collaborative effort with authors.
Okay.
There is one author who does like the bulk of the writing, but everything, like I said, the plotting of it is a team of people. The editing is a team of people. The last edits are a team of people. So it's a real collaborative process.
Okay.
So each pen name that we have does have like a main writer, but that main writer is not alone. They are part of a whole team of people that are deciding these stories. And basically it's just coming up with stories that we wished exist, or, our favorite things that we like in books, and let's put them in story form. And that was something that I could be part of. I could take all these ideas that I have and help other people who wanted a steady writing job, who weren't necessarily good at coming up with the ideas on their own. And yet I wouldn't have to feel bad about not finishing them myself, because somebody else finishes them. A team of people finish them.
Right.
And that has been a really great experience. I've really enjoyed it.
Okay. So, okay. And that's how you decided you want to do the publishing company.
Yes. Yes.
So is your publishing company by yourself, or is it the team of people?
It is, well, I own the company, but my team is the team that works on it. I do have like the authors that work with me. They're all individual authors. And this publishing, this is not really how I published C.D. Reese. C.D. Reese had her own career beforehand. We are not as collaborative with her. We do other things for her, but she does come to us a lot for plot advice and stuff, but she definitely is the writer and the editor and the main person in her stories. But everyone else that I work with, Stella Gray and Sadie Black and Raven Jane, they are a main writer with a collaboration of team people assisting them to write the story. It's so amazing. I've been able to work on so many great stories that I would never have time to work on myself. And the things that come out of them are not things that I could come up with on my own. Raven Jane's stories they're erotic fantasies, and they're fairy tale sort of erotic fantasies. They're just yummy. They're divine. I could not be that divine on my own.
You see? I absolutely love it. All right. You know what? It brings us to the first segment here, the Brown Book Series, called Name That Book. Will we take a synopsis, a paragraph, or a character from one of your books, and you have to name that book. Now, we see that you have a lot of series. A lot of your series are, based around one main character. So if you give you the name of the main character, we're just looking for the first book in that series. Or if you give us a book in one of the series, we're cool with it.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Alrighty.
All right, girl. Let me put my glasses on so I can see how Laurelin is going to do this thing, honey. You ready? Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Name that book. Oh, this is the easy one. Character.
Okay.
Elena.
Oh, Elena Withers. That's fixed on you. That's a fixed series.
On you. Yes. Girl, you in these books, these covers, Laura. This cover is everything. It's so sexy. I love when men pick women up anyway. But this right here, girl, who is these people? How did you like say I wanted to do this? Like, what's up with this? Explain this cover to me.
This was a stock photo, but I got lucky. It was before a lot of people were finding all the gems in the stock photos, and I found this one and I grabbed it. And I know that there are some bloggers that were really instrumental to my success that picked up this book because of that cover, for sure.
Yeah, you had me at the at the cover too. I was like, yo, that is crazy. I'm glad you went with that cover, honey, because girl, it was everything. All right, so you got that one right. Okay. Next up, you ready?
Yeah.
Name that book. I'm good in the boardroom, but I'm better in the bedroom. Much better.
Oh, that's Chandler.
That is Chandler.
That's a standalone. That one's by itself.
Yeah, that one's by itself, honey. And Chandler needs to be by himself, honey, because
yeah.
All right. You're doing great.
I know. I'm so impressed with myself.
Yeah, girl. That's that Mensa. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right. Name that book. Before him, I'd be content with the daily grind managing one of NYC's top nightclubs.
Well, that's got to be Free Me.
That's gotta be Free Me.
Yeah.
I love Free Me too. Okay, all right. Y'all can't trip her up, y'all. She on to you, Ram. She on to you. Okay. Name that book. We were supposed to run away after high school. When she didn't show up at our meeting place, I gathered my courage and went after her. It was a mistake.
That is Wild Rebel. That's the last trilogy I just wrote, and that story is like, it was in my head for a long time, and it came out. I loved it. It's dark, it's angsty, it's brutal. So like, there's your content warning. Like, if you have any problems with like sexual abuse or dark premises like that, then stay away from that book. But
well, I read the content warning, honey, and it made me want to open a little more, and I'm so happy that I did. Tell us a little bit about Wild Rebel.
Cade is the last guy in my dirty universe. So there's like 5 men who work together, and they started with the series started with Dirty Filthy Rich Men.
Yeah.
And Cade is the last man to find out his story. He's kind of been a dark. He's kind of been in the dark the whole time. All we've known is that he works in Japan and at the marketing company, and that he's kind of a gruff guy. Well, in Wild Rebel, he shows up back in New York City because his high school sweetheart has called out of the blue and asked him to help him with the unthinkable, which is, and I'm going to spoiler this a little bit. It's the end of like chapter 1, though. So I'm telling you, she says, can you help me kill my father?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, damn, girl, you left me. We were supposed to run away almost 20 years ago, 17 years ago. And now you're showing up out of the blue and asking me to do this crappy thing. What makes you think that I would do that for you? But as you read the series, her father has a lot of a hold on Cade as well.
Yeah.
A lot of surprising things. And so you understand why he also has this hatred towards this man, and why he would be exactly the person that she would ask to help.
I like though, because it's like you wrapped up. When I found out this would be your last, and why are you making this your last, the book in this series? Why are you closing out the series?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe I'm not. I was going to close it out because here was all 5 men. I'd already done all 5 of the men's stories. And then I had people saying, write another book about Donovan. I need another book about Donovan. So now I'm writing a book about Donovan, another one about Donovan, and that's called Kincaid. Yeah. And that will come out this fall. Mm-hmm. And I am leaving it open. Like, if maybe there's some other character things that could happen. I mean, I don't have anybody that's sort of in that world, but maybe there will be some other people that introduce themselves in that story, and lead me to another part of that world. I've also had some people ask to see their kids' books. I don't know how I feel about that. I have to think about it. I know lots of people do that, like the next generation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's my favorite thing, but they're a big company. They could have other people work for them.
Yeah, this is true. Okay, I love it. All right, last up, name that book. Suddenly my world is crashing down around me, and I'm forced to ask myself, am I not only interested in Brett now that he's taken? Am I only interested in, I want to interest him in.
And for me, I wondered if I could write a Friends to Lovers, because Friends to Lovers is so boring to me a lot of times, because I'm like, I don't understand why they're just not together.
See, okay. Unpopular opinion, y'all. And no shade to the authors who do it. But I felt that way too. Would be like, I love the second chance love is my favorite trope of all time. But the Friends to Love, I'm kind of like,
Yes. So I kept on that for all these years. I thought, how would I write Friends to Lovers in a way that I was enjoying it? And so that's what the story was.
Different. Yours was different. You had a different type of friend. I was like, yeah.
So in Man for Me, she knows all the time that he's always liked her.
Yeah.
But she's not interested in him
Period.
until he's taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Period. And I like that because it wasn't like the typical, him pining after her the whole time. He not going on with his life. He just right there waiting until she's there. And I've always been here for you. And I'm like, go on with your life. Let her. So your book was flipped for me. And I love that. I was like, okay, so Miss Laurelin did something different, honey.
Yeah. And then I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I was like, oh, I guess I do sometimes like Friends to Lovers.
When it's flipped sometime, when it always, and I get the guy's supposed to be chasing the woman. I get all that, but damn. Let me have a little backbone, just a little bit. All right, Laurelin.
All right.
How long does it take you to write a book?
It takes me about 10 weeks.
Okay. Is that pre-pandemic or?
That's both. 2.5 months. I've done 2.5 months for a really steady for a long time. I've managed 2.5 months. Sometimes it'll go towards 3 months, but really I think I'm pretty good about 10 months. I mean 10 weeks. I do about 10,000 words a week, but sometimes I take like a little trip or there's like a convention or something that happens in between. And so that's why I can't really do like, if my book's about 80,000 words, that would be 2 months, but there's always something that throws that off or somebody gets sick. So about 10 weeks.
Okay, about 10 weeks. Okay, I liked it. All right, so when you're not publishing though, when you're not writing or publishing, that's when you just like to chill, watch Killing Eve, and fascinate over Michael Fassbender.
Yes, I love to watch TV. I love to binge shows. I love to get story ideas from shows. I also have always been involved with music. I was majored in musical theater. And so for a long time, I was the director of music at Catholic Church. And then I started writing books and I quit that job. And then was kind of told by my Catholic church that I couldn't be part of the church anymore if I was going to be like a writer of sexy stuff. So
what?
So no shade to that priest who decided that was the case. Yeah, it was a true story. I was volunteering still after I quit. I was still volunteering and doing music. And he basically was like, nope, as long as you're writing these books, you can't be a volunteer at the church. So I'm now part of a different church because I still really like to be part of music. And I really love, I at the heart of everything, I love.
How did he know though? Like we couldn't look at me like we couldn't know. We couldn't tell him like, damn. And then like how did he know?
Somebody told on me. It was the priest that first was there when I worked was cool. And he loved it. He thought it was awesome. But after he died and a new priest came, somebody told on me and was like, oh, she writes these books. And then I all of a sudden had this meeting. You cannot do these things anymore. Blah, 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 blah. And I was kind of really frustrating because I'm like, how many people come up every week to communion with like child abusers come up? In fact, child abusers serve are priests in these churches. Right. And you can't like let me write a book about like consensual, real loving relationships between people.
Not right. And it's not like you was writing about the church. It'd be one thing if you wrote about the priest, sleeping with the nuns. Then it'd be like, Laurelin,
Right.
But and whoever told on you, don't talk to them no more.
Oh, I don't. So I still really like to be part of a community that is for positive interactions in the world. And so the community I'm part of right now is real, like open. We love everybody. We love the gays. We love people of color. We love diversity. My children are neurodiverse and they feel really comfortable there. My oldest daughter is trans. She feels really comfortable there. So this church is, I do the music. I'm the music minister there. We're small. We have like 100 people, but it's just a really great thing to do in my spare time. You know, sing not just church music. We sing lots of secular music. So sometimes I'll be singing like a Coldplay song, or
Inspirational. You know, because
yeah.
I found that a lot of secular songs. It's inspiration in it. It's like, okay.
Oh yeah. Kelly Clarkson has some great lyrics. Like we have a lot of things. Alicia Keys, man, I sing "Girl on Fire" a lot at church. It's a great place to be. I really enjoy that. That's what I do in my free time.
I absolutely love it. I love it. Well, the next segment here, the Brown Book series, is something that I'm sure the priests would not like. And I'm glad you're not at their church no more, because I don't want them to tell me I can't air this. It's called Who'd You Rather? What we take the heroes from your books, we pick them against each other, and you let us know who you want to have one night stand with.
Oh, okay.
We're not getting married. We hitting it and we quitting it. Okay.
Oh, hitting it and quitting it. Okay.
We're hitting it and quitting it. All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Who'd you rather? I know who you're gonna pick on this one. Scott Sebastian or Donovan Kincaid?
Well, who do you think I'm going to pick on this one?
Mr. Kincaid.
Oh, of course.
Okay, I'm about to say, we will have to have a conversation.
Kincaid. That's my Michael Fassbender. That's my music. He's the guy.
Yeah. He's his sexy sound. I said, oh, honey. All right, who'd you rather? Now, this one I'll let you pick who you pick first, but I'll tell you who.
Okay.
All right. Hudson Pierce or Reeve Salas?
I think that I could maybe be crucified by my fans to say this, but it's Reeve.
What? I'm sorry, my inner fan went out. What?
Here's the problem.
Okay.
Fixed on You, both those characters, Hudson and Elena, are two parts of myself. I feel like they are like two very distinct. It was my first it wasn't my first romance, but it was like the first one that I really put myself into, and those characters were like a split of me. Yeah. So Hudson is a part of me that I felt like I really needed to come to terms with. Of course, I'm not Hudson, but I feel like this, especially in my younger days, this pull to being possessive and a pull to being manipulative. And those things I really had to come to terms with about myself. So those are not things that I love about myself. Okay. Those are things that I turned to being something I could accept about myself by putting them into this character that's in a book. But because of that reason, he always, it's hard. It's like, it's like touching that part of you that's like a little bruised.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. So Reeve is the guy that is not me. Reeve is not me.
Okay. We don't want you to be touching yourself that night. I get it.
Yeah.
Even though touching yourself is not a bad thing, but I get it. All right. Last up, who'd you rather? Edward Fassbender or Dylan Locke?
Well, Edward Fassbender. I'm married to a Dylan Locke, though.
You married to a Dylan Locke?
Yeah, he's my only beta I've ever written, and I'm married to like a beta.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Nice, sweet, wonderful man. That's who I'm married to. But Edward Fassbender for the hit it and quit it, yeah.
Hey, I'm with you on that there. Look at how she's up for the hit it and quit it. Let's get to it. All right, cool. Yeah. Author's moments. Laurelin.
Okay.
What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
Oh, doing all this two different like publishing stuff plus writing. I was really, oh my gosh, I've got too many balls that I'm juggling in the air. So my most urgent priority has been like
giving. Juggling balls, my bad. Oh, yeah, you go for it.
Juggling the balls.
I know, right?
Right.
So I'm sorry. There you go.
I appreciate that. My priority has been delegating, like I've like bumped up my staff. I have more people. I've been delegating. I've been teaching them things because in 2 weeks' time, I'm starting to write Kincaid, and I need to have everything else off my plate. So that is my priority. Organizing that and then plotting Kincaid, because you know what? I still don't know what the fuck is happening in this book.
You don't?
I have some ideas. It's just not organized, and I'm getting a little nervous.
Lord, I love it. But Donovan Kincaid is yeah. You gonna get it together. You always do.
I'll get it together. I tell myself that my psychiatrist says you panic every time and it always works out. So I keep on saying that. I panic every time. It always works out.
You know what? You remind me of myself that as we say, y'all slang, I'm like, man, I get down in the midnight hour. Meaning, like, on crunch time is when I do my best work.
Yes.
Yeah, I be like, yeah, I don't need but a little while, just a little bit.
There's something about that pressure that really, like, it
turns me on.
Excites your idea. Yeah, your mind is like, now I'm having the ideas because I have no choice. I have to have them.
Yes, it turns me on. So I'd be like, okay, let's get it. All right. Author's moments. And being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late?
I learned that rank was not as important as I thought it was a little too late. I think I chased rank for a long time. You know, I make a really decent career, but I don't necessarily always hit the USA Today list anymore. And I definitely don't like hit the top 100 when I release a book anymore, but I have readers for a long time out. And it doesn't kill me. Like, I used to spend so much money on advertising and so much money on or time and energy and freaking out about, oh no, I'm not going to hit the top 100. I just wish I had that time back, because as soon as I let that go, like, I almost doubled my income, honestly, and I am a lot happier.
That's what's up. I'm glad you figured it out, though.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I have friends that are still not quite there yet, and they look miserable.
Oh, yeah. Poor thing. I'm glad you figured it out, though. Okay. Author's moments. What are you most grateful for right now in this moment?
Oh, in this moment right now, I am really grateful that there are people that are interested enough in me and my books to want to have conversations about it. I love talking about like where my books come from and the process behind it. But you know, not everybody always wants to hear that. So I appreciate you and what you do.
Thank you, girl. Yeah, we want to know everything. We want to know the who's, the what's, the when, the why, and where were you at when you got this idea. We want to know everything, like, and that's the one reason why we started this platform, because we, you know, authors, we didn't see you guys do a lot of interviews, and when you did, it was like, oh, you know, maybe a good 10 minutes. You know, it talks about that, and then we're like, yo, what else? What else did she write? What else did she read? You know, we wanted to know. So me being nosy was why I'm like, I don't know. We need to get these authors up in here. We need to get all up in their house and figure out what makes their brain ticks, because you guys bless us. Well, you know, when you guys get in there, you're writing the good books, and we're enjoying the fruit of y'all labor. Like, yeah. I love it.
Well, I love it. In the old days, like back in 2013, there was all the blog. Remember they did the blog tours and they'd ask you like all these questions, but it was always the same 5 questions. It was like.
Yeah.
And so we never got into anything deep. It was always boring. It felt like even filling them out, it's like, oh my gosh, I've answered this like 9 million times. But to have conversations like this where we can like dig under a little bit deeper and ask questions like, you know, why do you like this character more than this character? I think that's really interesting for me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you, girl. See, honey, it's awesome out here. All right.
Yeah.
Author's moments. If you could have tea with one fictional character of yours, who would it be and why?
Oh, man. Man, that is a hard question. I think, you know, maybe right now in this moment, it would be Audrey Lind. She's from Sweet Liar, and she's young, but she's really got her head together, like probably more than any of my other characters. She's just knows what she wants and knows what's real and what isn't real in the world, even though she's, like I said, like I think she's like 24. And like I feel like it's taken me a long time to get there. I'd like to get her wisdom,
Okay.
and
It's taken us all a long time to get
I
there.
know, right? Yeah.
And even when we get her wisdom, it's still gonna take us a minute.
Oh yeah.
We gotta understand the shit, and then we got to apply it. So I think you're doing great. You're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
All right, author's moments. If you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Wow. My 15-year-old self was just a mess. Were we all a mess at 15?
Girl, a hot mess at that.
Hot mess. I think that I would have told myself that mental health I would have told myself about mental health care. I struggle with mental health care. I'm actually really good now, so I don't want to say struggle anymore because I feel like I really have my mental health under control. But that was only the last like 4 years of my life. I think before that, it was decades of really struggling with depression and some manic cycles. So a lot of times I felt like I was a person that was unlovable because of that, and that I couldn't hold on to relationships. I couldn't understand why I did the things that I did. And I think I would tell my 15-year-old self that you're not as much of a train wreck as you think you are. You're not as out of control as you think you are. It's there's some mental illness in there. There's some stuff that can be fixed. It's gonna get better.
Gotcha. And it did.
It did.
And it
Definitely did.
Definitely. Author's moments. What would your pen name be?
Well,
Well,
since Laurelin Paige is my pen name, but as we were discussing before we did this, maybe my pen name would be my real name, which is Laura Rahimi, which is not a secret, but that I didn't use that name because I was working for the church at the time. But I wouldn't mind using that name sometime.
Okay. Now, if you didn't use your real name, so how did you come up with this pen name?
Well, I first of all needed a name that I could remember and answer to, because if somebody was like going to call me Emily, I was never going to turn my head. So I was like, something that's like Laura, but kind of sounds more exotic or something. So I thought Laura Lynn, that's a good way to make it more exotic. Fun fact, my youngest daughter's name is Emma, but I wanted to make it a little bit more exotic because there's a million Emmas. So her name is Emmalyn. See, so that's like my one trick. Just add a Lynn to the name. And the name Paige, I mean, Paige has a good connotation for publishing, but I really used to love this theater actress named Elaine Paige. She was in Cats.
Yes, yeah.
She was in some of my favorite musical theater pieces. And so I was like, oh, that's something I've always really loved. So I'll just steal that name.
That's what's up. I only seen her in Cats. I didn't know if she was on anything else. And I just remember that name from that because I was like, I like the D's, the Dylans, the Delaney's, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Like, okay, so that's how I remember her.
Elaine Paige. She did the song, she sings the most famous song from that show, Memory, but she also did Chess, and she did Evita. She was the first Evita.
What?
Yeah. Before Patti LuPone, like the one we've seen the movie, it's Madonna.
Yeah.
But she did the first Evita was Elaine Paige in London.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, okay then. Look at you, Miss Broadway, honey. I love it. Author's moments. If you can master any instrument on earth, what would it be?
I already played the piano. But I don't have it mastered. I would love to master it. And I always think about it, like maybe I should take piano lessons again and become better. But I also would love to play the guitar. It's so easy to pick up a guitar, and I still like to write songs. I wish I could do the guitar thing. I'm too much of a baby though. You get calluses on your hand, it hurts.
I can't with you. Moments. You're right about it though. What's the one dream that you've tucked away?
Believe it or not, I would love to go to some sort of biblical or religious school. I did start going for a little while during the pandemic. and I really, really enjoyed it. It not like one that's attached to a particular religion, but like the study of religion. I think that it's fascinating, the study of religion. I think that the historical ideas of it, the story parts of it. I mean, there's so much story involved in our history that's connected to religion, not just Christianity. I'm also interested in all of these other faiths, and how they intersect and how they cross and how they built our cultures up. Seriously, I lots of times I feel like when I retire, never retiring, by the way, when I retire, I will go to biblical school.
You know what? That is so crazy because I went to Moody.
Ah, really?
Yes, went there for a couple of semesters because I'm like you too. I wanted to just the study of it. I'm a history buff anyway, and so just learning it and the different religions and the different doctrines and how it all coincide and how you ended up over here and the 12 tribes just fascinating me. So now I'm on this whole geographical, trying to, and that's I'm with you on that. I'm into all that.
We'll go together.
We should. We really should. Because I like that. And then after that, we can go to a strip club or something. But I really that's me all day. I absolutely love. That's crazy. We got so much in common. Oh my God.
I know.
Laurelin, dead or alive? If you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
Oh, well, that's really hard then too.
The 5 questions starting to look a little better for you now, huh?
No. Well, because we just spoke about it, I really kind of feel like I'd want Christ there because that would be just really fascinating.
We want him to come to us. We don't want to go to him because that could go left real quick.
That could go left real quick. Yeah. I just want to ask him some questions about
some real questions and be like, yo, like, tell us the truth. What really happened here?
Yes. What really happened? And for that matter, I will always be fascinated with what really happened to Kennedy. So can we get like one of the people who really knows the Kennedy story? Because I want that person there.
The real story. I want to talk to his daddy, Jack Kennedy. Because his story is just a hoot. Yeah.
And there's a little dark. It's got some dark stuff in there. Yeah. I think that would be.
His is like a dark romance suspense all in one. Like,
okay. Yeah. Man, there's so many other people. I'm looking around in my office, like to look at like people that might inspire me. There's a lot of people that are living that I would want to have come talk to me. Gosh, how can this be? There's too many. I would love to talk to some theater people. Like I even love to talk to like Socrates, and because he's like, and Aristotle. They were the beginnings of plays. I'd be fascinated in talking to Anais Nin. Like I want to see some of these Confucia.
Yes.
You know who had a really perverse, weird idea about the world was Gandhi.
Now, and I still believe, I don't know why, I feel like he had such a diverse, thoughts of the world, but I feel like we're still missing something. I don't know why, but I feel like it's something with him that we missed, that we're not getting, that it has never been untold yet.
Yeah, there has to be, right? Because he has.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, he was so fascinated with sex between people.
And I was like, Gandhi was a freak. And I just feel like, but you know what though? It's so crazy that a lot of people don't, it seems like when you talk about that or you tell the people about that, they're like, what? I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I'm like, no, it was way more to him than what the majority of the people know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to find out what he was.
I can't be up here with you, Laurelin. My inner nerdness come out.
I know. Yeah, we'll have this dinner. I'll invite you to this. People come. And you know what? I'm a huge Barack Obama fan, so I would love to have him there.
Yeah.
too.
Barack would be cool. Barack seemed boring though. We need Michelle. She got the spice.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I love
This is our
Michelle.
dinner party. This is your party. You can invite.
You're right. No, you're right. Did you see Michelle? Did you go see her Becoming tour?
I did. When she was, I'm in Boston. When she came to Boston, we was right there, front and center. Like
Me
what?
too.
Yeah.
I could watch her talk all day long. That's a strong woman. You're right. You're right. Thanks for schooling me on that one. You were right.
I got you, friend. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Laurelin, this has been an awesome interview. We have one question left, but before we ask this last question, I just want to say thank you for coming on because
You're welcome.
you're awesome. This has been a hoot. And let everybody know how they can get your books, your social media handles, and your website. All things Laurelin.
Okay, so my website is where most everything is. So it's www.laurelinpaige.com. Really easy. There's even a place that has links to the books that I published too, the Paige Press books. And then I'm on Instagram at the real Laurelin Paige, the real Laurelin Paige. And my Facebook group is Hudson Pierce. It's called Laurelin Paige's Sky Launch. So go search that and it'll pop up. It was originally named Hudson Pierce, so it still has like Hudson Pierce in the name.
Okay, I absolutely love that. Laurelin, last question.
That's great. Okay, last question.
Did you have fun, Laura?
Yes. Is that for real? The last question?
Well, we have one. This is our last question. Yeah, it's an hour.
Yeah, but I mean, is that the word? Is that the question? Did I have fun?
No, that was just my question.
Okay. Yes, I had fun. I had a blast. It was great. It was worth being sweaty and having to blow dry my hair.
But you still look cute, though. It don't matter. You look cute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. If you were writing a book about your life, what would
I'm not good on the spot. Like I have to think about things for hours. But let's see. It would probably it would have to have something that like incorporated a little bit of psychology and edginess and I don't know, like there's a Joni Mitchell line in a song where it says like I'm frightened of the devil and drawn to those who ain't afraid. So maybe it would be like Drawn to the Devil. I mean, maybe that's the title. Would be something that has that shows that I'm also raunchy too. So I don't know, man. What would you title my life book?
Your life. Let me see. Now, after all you've been through, free.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, that's highly free.
I like that.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Right.
I absolutely love it.
I love it. You're great. I love talking to you, Shay.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a Brown Book Series round of applause to Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and I'm going to tell you, USA Today's best-selling author, Miss Laurelin Paige. Yay! Hold 1 second for me, Laurelin. Hi, Brown Book Series. Hey, you like the interview? And I know you did. Please like and subscribe. And make sure you go out and pick up everything Laurelin Paige. Everything. Just go on her website and just start picking everything up. Just start buying everything. Because she's an awesome writer and her books are awesome. And if you like that dark romance, baby, hit me up. I'll tell you which one you need to start out with at first. I'm just saying. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Y'all know the drill. Like, subscribe, and share. If you haven't got your tickets yet for the Raw Experience, please go check it out. It's rawexperience.com. We're going to talk to Laurelin and see if we get her in the building, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. You do not want to miss it. I love you guys. See y'all next week. Stay positive. And then, where's the theme music, Rams?
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us. No one can judge us. This is for